I appreciate everybody who's reaching out to us about the incredibly tragic passing of Kyle Busch. We talked about that quite a bit earlier on the show as well, and it's still unbelievable, especially in terms of how young Kyle Busch was and the quickness, seemingly, with which this all happened. And there may be somebody who doesn't follow racing at all, and that's understandable, but at the heart of it, I mean, you're talking about a 41-year-old man who has a wife and 2 young kids who just essentially, out of the blue, has passed away. They just announced yesterday that he was in the hospital and that he wasn't going to be able to race in the Coke 600 this weekend. And then within hours, the news came out that he had passed away. And I don't know that, and I don't want to sit here and speculate about anything. Right. I mean, there are obviously some facts that are out there that aren't, something that can't be talked about, but they haven't said what this was all about.
It was noteworthy because it was just last weekend when he was racing. The TV actually covered an interesting development that happened to him while he was in the car.
Kyle Busch has been suffering from a sinus cold all week. Lost 5 spots on that pit stop. He has asked to have medical attention available after the race. Here's his radio.
And can somebody try to find Bill Heisel? He's the Hendrick doctor guy. Tell him I need him after the race, please.
Hey, do you want Mr. Bill at your car and at your bus after the race?
Bus. I'm gonna need a shot.
Copy. He'll be at your bus.
That was during the race where he was like, "Hey man, I'm not feeling good."
I mean, he raced last weekend.
Yep.
And he actually won. He won a truck race, I believe. So he was sick, but not devastatingly sick.
Right. I mean, all of this took a hard turn very, very quickly.
Within the last 24 plus
hours.
Because
we know personally, and co-workers were at an event on Wednesday night, and his wife, Kyle's wife, and his mother were there because it was a charity event that he was a part of for his foundation, I believe. And they wouldn't have been there had he been at death's door at that moment.
Right.
And that was Wednesday night.
Although they were very charitable, and I will say they did so many things in the community, both Kyle and Samantha, that they probably would have done all they could to be there for a charitable event. But to your point, no, I'm sure that if there was some danger of him not making it, they would have been at his side. So I don't know. And I don't understand. I don't know what you'd get a shot of as well. He referenced that in the pit stop call or whatever it was.
It could be, antihistamine. It could be steroids. It could be any number of things, depending if he's got a sinus thing. I do hate that there is so much people trying to, solve this thing online and just making wild guesses.
But it's human nature. So you're right. And we said we wouldn't speculate, so I don't want to. But it is human nature because you think if it's tragic, you hate that it happened, so you want to figure it out. And then also, of course, you don't want it to happen to you or someone you love, whatever it is.
Right.
So it is human nature to be like, what was that? And then try to figure it out. And of course you can't unless you have any extra information.
The older I get, the less the world makes sense. Because you just don't, this is a man who drove 1,000,000 miles an hour for his job, and you think that's dangerous enough, and that might hurt you. You just never know.
Right, and something else is what gets you.
That's why you got to hug your people, be nice to people. You never know.
I mean, he certainly was a polarizing figure in his sports.
He was. That was part of his perception, his job at that time. But I feel like in the past couple years, that's turned around some. He's not necessarily the villain.
I mean, he started really young, obviously. Yeah. I went back through our archives and found the last time that Kyle was in the studio with us. And it was a long time ago. I posted that video. It was fun, I'll tell you that. Right. No matter what your, what your bent is as far as racing goes. I remember he was telling us the story about how he believed Michael Waltrip had broken a shake weight. Totally random. It's just because we had a shake weight in our studio. Kids, if you're of a certain age, you probably don't even know what I'm talking about, but it was an old piece of exercise equipment. And we had one in our old studio, and all guests would come in and do the shake weight.
Right.
It was stupid,
Well,
but it was
it's-
funny. And who knew that it would lead to Kyle Busch telling us a story about another driver breaking one? But it did do that. I've posted that. It's a very quick video, but he was so young in that video. Like he had to be 20s.
25,
Yeah, maybe
early
probably about
20s?
mid-20s, something like that.
No, really?
Well, he was only 41.
Yeah.
That's right.
It was probably 15 years ago. So he would have been 26, maybe. So at the heart of it, I know so many people knew and loved. So, I mean, it feels hollow to say, you know, our prayers are with the family and friends, but they truly are. And they are going to race this weekend. I know there was somebody like, oh, are they going to race? I mean, they're not going to postpone this huge festivities of weekends for that. But that's what he would have wanted, I'm sure.
Right.
So as a competitor.